here in Lexington, but if you're in Rockcastle County over towards the London Corbin area, now's the time to get inside. If you know anyone that's maybe out with some outdoor activities, some barbecues or things going on, maybe give them a call. Anywhere up and down I-75 and just east of I-75, now's the time to get inside, get in that sturdy structure, away from those doors and windows, because just look at all the lightning with this. 745 lightning strikes up and down this line, stretching from the Williamstown area all the way down to the Tennessee line. So this is strong. There is the possibility that even with this broad area experiencing strong wind gusts, that you could get some rotation producing some quick spin up tornadoes within this line as well. We're not seeing any tornado warnings at the moment, but that doesn't mean you can't have some quick rotation, drop a funnel, have a quick burst of some tornadic wind damage, and then continue with the straight line wind gust threat that this entire line is posing. And as Jordan was just mentioning, continuing to see some wind damage reports coming in with this entire line. Switch the radar over to Jackson's real quick. You just get a great representation of how heavy this rain is as it is pushing through. This is the heaviest part of this storm. Heaviest rain is now pushing through Lexington downtown right now. Might have a really good view on our tower camera looking at downtown. Let's pull that up quickly. And this is another look at this is our tower camera. You cannot see downtown. So this is pointed towards downtown. You can't see anything. Visibility obviously very low. Very difficult if you're trying to travel through this. So that's why we're recommending just ride this line of storms out. We'll get a little bit of a break before the next round with potentially more severe thunderstorms pushes in later on today. So to give you the timing here, if you're in Bourbon, Clark, Fayette, down in the Madison County, your severe thunderstorm warning lasts through 1:15, but that's likely to be extended. If you're in Rockcastle County, Jackson County, Laurel County, Pulaski County, your severe thunderstorm warning lasts through 1:45. And then if you're tuned in far southern Kentucky, Knox County, over towards McCreary County, you are under a severe thunderstorm warning through 1:15. So see, there's three different segments within this line that we were watching, but it's anywhere within this line from Williamstown down to Tennessee. That is where we've got the strongest of the wind gusts. Notice how this part that's moving through Lexington down to Nicholasville, Richmond, notice how that's extending a little bit further eastward. That's showing the core of the strongest burst of winds within that part of the system. Down here, watching the possibility that you could sneak in some rotation with a little bit of a kink in that line. That's something I've been trying to watch and track as this line continues to move eastward. We've yet again to see any severe thunderstorm warnings within it, but still up and down this line, possibility of seeing some of that rotation that could be showing up. And let me pull back on the lightning strikes, because we even had a report out of Lawrenceburg in Anderson County where lightning caused a structure fire there. So a lot of cloud to ground lightning with this line as it moves in. Over 700 lightning strikes just within this view right here. So it's a serious deal. Take it seriously. If you know anyone out ahead of this, tuned in, maybe not even within a severe thunderstorm warning right now, let them know that within the next hour or so, all areas east of I-75, you will start to see impacts from this line of storms moving in. Just let it run through. You'll get a little bit of a break later this afternoon before more stronger storms will be moving in later this evening into your overnight. So we're not done after this line moves through. It is strong, certainly strengthening given the timing of it here as we're starting to get a little bit of daytime heating, but it has been moving through during the overnight, causing significant damage in western Kentucky, out towards Missouri, southern Illinois, and continuing now for our immediate area. But again, severe thunderstorm warning out for Lexington right now. Points south and eastward. You've yet to see the rain yet if you're in Laurel County, Jackson County, Rockcastle County, but you're getting ready to see that strong wind moving in there as well.
Another report of some damage coming out of Georgetown on US 460. Transformers have blown and power lines and trees across the road. Again, US 460 into southern Scott County. It says looking south towards Lexington. So that's
Gotcha.
With this exact same line that continues to move through.
Let's try to see if we're experiencing, let's look at the shear rate where we could be seeing, again, this just shows where you could potentially see some rotation. This is our rotation detector, where you can see rotating winds potentially within this line. Again, Madison County, a little bit of rotation there, a little bit of rotation right along the Kentucky River there, moving over Clays Ferry Bridge, a little bit of rotation possible there. Again, it's not widespread. There are no tornado warnings out, but this is a severe thunderstorm warning with a storm capable of producing 70-mile-per-hour winds, and you have that rotation potential on top of it. So it just goes to show you that you need to be taking this thing seriously and adhere to the warning. Get to the an interior room within your home away from those doors and windows, and they're starting to see some of that. Let me set this in motion where you can see the potential for a little bit of this rotation trying to show up just south of Richmond into Madison County, which it makes sense that you could see some of that rotation there because it's on the southeast side. There's warmer, more humid air out ahead of this line. So as it's moving eastward, you could try to get a little bit of rotation. You agree with me, Jordan, where that little kink in the line right there, worth watching just south of Richmond, likely moving right near the Buc-ee's eventually between Lexington and Berea right along I-75.
And I actually just looked at that SCITS data there within our tornado index, and it has a 4.0 now, which means a 4 out of 10 level for a potential spin up of a tornado, right? Exactly where he was pointing at.
Yeah, so we are watching that part of the storm right now for that potential. That's the Madison County area, Richmond. Let's take a closer look, stop the radar, kind of show you just north and east of Kirksville, moving right towards I-75, moving off towards the north and the east. Let's try to put on a skit, give you some idea of some timing of this. But again, there's more than just one little kink in this line. Areas of rotation up and down this line. Right there I showed you, right near the Clays Ferry Bridge, just to the south and the west of Richmond. Definitely a little kink there. Also between Lancaster and Berea, some rotation possibly there with that. So let's try to give you some timing here. So Madison Central High School, if you're near that area right now, right around 1:18. So within the next 5 minutes for you, the Bluegrass Army Depot, 121, Richmond Raceway there, Madison County 122, the Waco area. You've got until 127 where this little area rotation will be moving on in. Estill County High School, a little bit further off towards the east, 137. Will this part of the storm that we're watching be moving into your area? Just had another update on the radar, so I'm going to take this off so we can get a better look at the latest radar scan. So it's basically right on top of I-75 now, the area we're talking about with some of that rotation. So let's zoom in here. Anything in the National Weather Service chat of the potential for an update? Bluegrass Army Depot, if you're over towards that area, Madison County, definitely take this warning seriously. You not only have that severe thunderstorm potential, but there's also a little bit of rotation that we're continuing to track with this.
Yeah, no real updates as of right now from the National Weather Service. They're just continuing to extend all of these severe thunderstorm warnings, putting 60 to 70 mile-an-hour winds on them. Still no additional reports of damage since the last we told you as well.
That is a little bit of good news, but still want to take this warning seriously. Again, heavy rain likely within this entire line as it is moving off towards the east-northeast. But there are definitely parts of this line that we are watching for that potential for quick spin-up tornado. The reason why the leading edge, especially on the southeast side, this line, as it's moving eastward, you're getting some inflow here out of the south and the east where more warm, humid air might have been sunny so far today over towards the eastern Kentucky mountains. And that influence on this line of storms is what's creating that little bit of rotation that we are watching just south of Madison County. Just had a severe thunderstorm warning now issued out ahead of that little part of the storm. Is there a tornado possible tag on it? Do you know, Jordan? Would not be surprised if there is, but this is through 2:15. It does include Menifee County, also down to Wolfe County, and then there into Powell County as well. We're watching this part of this line of storms. There's Lexington right there. There's Winchester. You're getting ready to see some heavy rain and gusty winds towards you. Really watching that area into Madison County right now. It's just triggered this new severe thunderstorm warning for points east of that line as it continues to push on through. So Lee County and then again Estill County, you're included within that as well.
And there is a tornado possible tag on that, and it is considerable.
So 70-mile-per-hour winds possible. there's more than just one. There are multiple areas within this line that we could be seeing some of that rotation potential as it moves east. So let's turn you back on velocity. You're looking for the kinks in the line because the radar site is Jackson. Green is towards, red is away in terms of where that wind is blowing, because what it's picking up on, the radar's sending out its signal, but it can only see directions towards and away from the radars. So it can't actually show that 360 spinning motion. But when you have greens and some reds closer to each other, like you're seeing right there, a little bit of the kink in the line, that's where you can see that potential. Let's turn it back on the wind shear. That's where you look for almost an S shape, where you could see more of that veering wind, turning winds. Right now it's more elongated, so that would be some good news. If this was more of an S shape, that would be of some concern. So maybe become a little bit broad in that rotation. So if there's any piece of good news with that, is that it's not quite showing the rotation that it just was as it was near the Kirksville area. See if I can take this back out to the home area. And of course, it wants to give us that view, but we will zoom in once again on this cluster. A lot of lightning with this line as it is moving eastward. Parrish, you're getting ready to see some strong winds near you. Carlisle, you've had a warning for a while. It's not yet raining, obviously, near you, but that line is getting closer and closer to you. Another extension to the severe thunderstorm warning. This severe thunderstorm warning that just popped up there on the right of your screen, right behind me, through 2:15. So that now includes Moorhead as far east as Rowan County in the Moorhead area. So we're continuing to watch that part of this as well. Let's take another view here. Let's look at the whole ABC 36 viewing area, because we've got storms for everyone. Definitely no one missing out on this line for sure. Widespread heavy rain, widespread strong damaging wind gusts, in excess of 60 to 70 miles per hour, and a lot of lightning within that as well. Any updates, Jordan?
Not as of yet. I'm pulling up the power map to see. We're now at 173,000 customers in Kentucky without power, and that number is increasing here in central Kentucky, of course.
So we are going to continue to likely see that number rising, obviously, as this line of storms moving through some more populated areas. So the power outage number is going to continue to climb. Make sure your phone's plugged in right now. Make sure that's charging. Make sure you have maybe extra batteries in case you do lose power near you, because Western Kentucky, significant power outages there. Yet to see that here locally, but that's still something we will be monitoring for you. See if we can get a look here at maybe some of those power outage numbers. Yes, there we go. So power outages by county. Let me take off the percentage there by county. So Anderson County, you are now up to, let's get a look here, how many power outages you could have. Not showing up at the moment. There, 1 second. Anderson County, you got 14% of the county now without power. Franklin County also experiencing 12.5% of the county without power. So just to put an example, as this line's moved through, it has caused power outages and will continue to likely do so as you head east of that line. So Mount Sterling, again, definitely know anyone outside, maybe some barbecues, family get-togethers, family reunions, things like that. Obviously with the holiday weekend, a lot of people outside. Make sure that they are riding this line of storms out as it continues to move eastward. Wind gusts in excess of 60 to 70 miles per hour. That could cause wind damage. That could cause power outages. That could even likely produce a lot of frequent lightning within this as it continues to move eastward. Any updates from the National Weather Service, Jordan?
Not as of yet, no.
Let's take another look at the velocity, see if we're seeing any of those kinks that we're talking about. Good news is nothing as pronounced as what we were seeing earlier into central Madison County. Looking a little bit further on the southern edge of this, still not seeing many areas of rotation like we were just seeing just a couple moments ago. So that's some good news. I'm going to put the radar in motion here maybe for the last 30 minutes. Notice how those little kinks in the line were showing up as the line of storms moved into Madison County. No longer seeing that right now. So a little bit of good news there, but still very strong wind gusts possible within this. We're losing a little bit of that tornado potential, but we'll take that. And obviously you can hear the loud thunder here at the TV station as the line continues to push in towards our area. Worst of it is now out of western Fayette County, so that's some good news. West side of Lexington, you're going to start to see a little bit of improvement. There is still some lightning on the back edge of this system, so I wouldn't say, obviously, still good to go outside. Wait till you hear that thunder start to die down in the distance. So that would be some good news for you, though, that the heaviest of the rain, the strongest of the winds now have pushed to the east side of town. It's moving, as fast as 50 to 60 miles per hour, racing eastward along the interstate. So it'll be in the Mount Sterling before you know it here as well.
There's several damage reports coming in out of the Georgetown area. They're coming in pretty quickly in the chat and on social media.
Okay,
so the line of storms, of course, has passed you guys there in Georgetown, but as that line passes, people start to kind of look out, see what happened. I'm sure damage reports will continue to filter in.
To come in, absolutely. That's the northern edge of this. We saw that briefly at our Kentucky Horse Park camera. That part of the storm moving into Cynthiana right now. Millersburg area, you've got some strong wind gusts picking up towards you. Carlisle, again, we've been talking about you as this latest radar scan comes in. We're getting closer and closer to you in terms of some of that heavier rain. I'm just going to continue to go down this line of storms to show you some areas. Mount Sterling, get ready for some heavy rain. Strong storms near you. Winchester area into Clark County, you've got heavy rain falling right now. Waco area, you are experiencing the strongest of the winds, but Stanton, Clay City, down towards Irvin, Ravenna there, you've got some strong wind gusts heading your way here shortly. And I'm going to continue to basically head right down I-75. The Sand Gap area there, you're going to continue to see worsening conditions. McKee, you are in the path of this storm. Mount Vernon is dealing with the strongest of the wind gusts, getting ready to see the heaviest of the rain right now. Again, you're seeing a little bit of that pink showing up. Could show some hail signatures with this. It's likely nickel size, not very big, but it's still a possibility on top of the strong wind gusts. Livingston, you're getting ready to see these strong wind gusts near you as well. So that's a little bit of a tour around the viewing area. Let's take you another look, broad perspective of things here. Turn back on the lightning. And we're still at that 700 lightning strike count. So a lot of lightning with this entire line as you head through this afternoon.
And let me interrupt you for one moment, getting in a couple of pictures of trees down in Versailles, and one looks to have fallen on a vehicle. I'm not sure if it wrecked before the tree fell, but that vehicle is over on its side, and you can see trees down all around it. So that is out of the Versailles area there in Woodford County.
Yeah, that storm was showing a little bit of rotation when it was moving through Woodford County also. I noticed that before we came on at around 1 o'clock. It's now 1:24, and this line has continued to move eastward. I'm going to turn our camera over to Mount Sterling, because we have a camera there, and we should have a great view of this storm as it rolls into downtown Mount Sterling. But for right now, you're looking at the radar on your screen. I'm just stepping off so I can quickly adjust the camera view here on our Mount Sterling camera that we can go to when that line of storms moves into Mount Sterling. Let me take one quick glance now at some of the National Weather Service updates, maybe some updates on how fast this line of storms is moving. Continuing to move, it's slowing down a little bit, still 40, 50 miles per hour. 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts possible within that as well.
And the National Weather Service is doing a very nice job of sticking these warnings out well in advance, trying to get the word out. People, again, it's moving just now to the east of Lake Cumberland, but I know just being from southern Kentucky, there is a lot of people that is out at Lake Cumberland.
Yes,
so hopefully they heeded the warning and at least took shelter as it rode through that area.
We had some posts on our social media a couple hours ago that if you're planning to be out during the early afternoon hours, make sure you had a way to get to a safe location, because this entire line, 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts that just moved through the Lexington area, continuing to see the possibility of power outages with this line as it continues to move east. It is, I would say, weakening a little bit. We're seeing less of that, 70 mile per hour wind gust within those warnings, but still, don't take this thing lightly. Strongest part of the storm now right over top of you in Winchester. I'm just going to show the rotation again to see if we're seeing any rotating winds within this system. We'll take a quick glance at that. Let's look at Jackson's radar, turn on the velocity, and again, you're not seeing any rotation really showing up right now, but there's definitely strong wind gust potential within this. Maybe a little bit of rotation there north and west of Winchester, northwestern portions of Clark County. Possibly seeing a little bit of rotation. That's what our rotation detector is trying to pick up, moderate to strong rotation there. But I wouldn't say it's in a very healthy environment for it to continue to see maybe that rotation. Looking at the wind shear markers from the past hour, yeah, this thing has been producing some very strong wind gusts and will continue to do so as it moves eastward. There's the part of the storm that's trying to pick up a little rotation. Not sure if I necessarily see that, but this part could be producing some hail there. That's getting close to the Clay City area, so be alert for that if you are in Clay City or Stanton as this line continues to race off towards the north and the east at 50 to 60 miles per hour potentially. That little front edge area could be producing some hail. The latest radar scan showing that at least.
And I got a few more reports of damage. Not really shocking, just considering the amount of winds that we're seeing, but there is some tree limbs down on the outer loop of Man of War here in Lexington at Harrodsburg Road. Those lanes are currently blocked at the moment. Quite a bit of trees down. Looks like part of a roof has blown off of an outshed in the Midway area. Additional power lines and trees down in the Danville area of Boyle County, and we're now up to 183,000 statewide without power.
183,000 without power, and if you're in, any of those areas from Boyle County up to Anderson County, Mercer County, the heaviest of the storm has moved off to your east. If you have any wind damage reports, find us on Facebook, ABC 36 Facebook. Find meteorologist Jordan Smith. Go to our ABC 36 Weather Watchers Facebook group. Submit your photos there, submit your damage reports there. We can forward those along to the National Weather Service and obviously help let the viewers know what this line of storms is capable of doing. And that is producing some strong to damaging wind gusts as it moves through. We're going to stay with you because, again, this is impacting everyone right now. A lot of people out, maybe coming inside, turning on the TV after getting that alert popping up on your phone or your watch or something like that. We want to let you know that this entire line is capable of producing 50, 60, maybe even excess of 70 mile per hour wind gusts. It's been causing wind damage across the entire state. And as this moves eastward, likely to continue to cause the potential for some wind damage. I'm really watching the northern edge of this line because that's where we've seen a little bit of rotation trying to show up there as well. And a lot of lightning. We even had, I mentioned it earlier, but lightning causing a structure fire there in Anderson County. So again, it's not just the wind gust, but the lightning could be causing some issues. And obviously that's very important with people outside. See, still not really showing, all these show the potential for severe thunderstorms and different cores of this entire line. When you see those little skip markers show up, that is what we're talking about in terms of the severe potential. Not seeing any rotation right now with any of these, so that is a little bit of good news. I'm gonna pop up our Mount Sterling camera if we can see what's going on there for our friends in Montgomery County. Again, it's quiet right now. The winds are blowing a little bit. You can see the flag, the American flag there in front of the courthouse, but we're not seeing that rain falling and the gusty winds now. But that's going to change as that line of storms does move on through.
There's a video coming out of Somerset, significant damage to this entire neighborhood here. The video, I'm literally watching it and describing it as I'm watching it, but this entire street here, I don't know exactly what part of Somerset this is, but I can see multiple trees down, some homes that are damaged as well, debris that is scattered this entire neighborhood. So I'll find out some more information on this.
Yeah, see if you can get that video on links too, and maybe we can try to share that.
This is some of the most significant damage I've seen today.
Our Somerset camera. If we can pop that up for you. This is, I think it's gone down. That's before the rain moved in, unfortunately. I just had those fixed. They have another Lake Cumberland camera as well. Let's see what that is showing. Yeah, you can't see the lake. Usually you can see the lake right here. You can't see that right now. Heavy rain, strong storms, obviously pushing on in there. But that is some damage reports out of Pulaski County. We were talking when we first got on here about the southern edge of this potentially being pretty strong. The problem was we didn't really have a good view of it on radar, but let's take a look now at the velocities here on the southern edge. We were showing you the northern edge earlier. There is a possibility that you could sneak in some rotation within this. There's little couplets that could possibly be showing up there east of Shopville, heading towards Laurel County, about ready to cross over the county line into Laurel County, heading towards the London area. That's the part of the storm that moved through Somerset that Jordan was just talking about, producing wind damage there. That is continuing to cause a little concern there for far eastern Pulaski County. Zoom in a little bit further, kind of give you right over the Sandy Gap area, the Squibb area, heading over towards Bernstadt as well. Heading right due east almost as well. Where you, again, there's a possibility a little bit of rotation within that. Let's see if no skit is showing up on it right now, so that's some good news. It was a little bit further towards the west where it picked that up near the Stab community area there, Pulaski County. Take that off real quick, show you the radar once again. Heavy rain obviously falling there with that strong to damaging wind gust potential on top of that. Zoom the radar out a little bit further. We're trying to get you a view of that damage that Jordan was talking about there into Somerset. At part of the storm, again, history of producing damaging wind gusts. If you're in Laurel County right now, that storm worth watching, worth getting into your safe location, just like we're talking about with everyone else for that potential. Worst of the storm is now out of the Lexington metro area. West side of town, we're not even seeing any lightning there either. So if you're tuned in, maybe you're just now tuning in towards Lexington or near the Frankfort area, we are seeing improvement for you. So that is a little bit of good news. Georgetown, you still have some moderate to heavy rain falling on top of you, even the west side of Lexington. But the severe part of this storm is to your east and is continuing to move off towards the east. Okay. Well, I'm going to have Jordan pop up here and show you the radar. I'm going to try to get this video pulled up here on our computer.
Yeah, so we're going to continue to talk about, again, this line. If it's not impacted you in Kentucky yet, it's going to impact you. It's continuing to move just to the east of the I-75 corridor here. So just to the east of Fayette County, moving right on top of Richmond, down through portions of Berea as well. And again, it's within these little notches that you're seeing that kind of bow in a little bit, that there may be a little bit of rotation. But regardless, if we get by without this line, without seeing any true tornadoes, this wind damage that we're seeing, upwards of 70 to possibly upwards of 80 miles an hour, can do some damage of a low-end tornado. So still, if you are outside the Red River Gorge area here at Natural Bridge, that is moving on your area very, very soon. So if you have family that may be camping, that may be out at the gorge for the holiday weekend, might want to give them a call, shoot them a text real quickly, and give them a little bit of a heads up of the thunderstorms that is pushing on into that area as well. And behind this line of storms, seeing just a little bit of maybe some light to moderate rain behind that. So as folks are starting to head out, maybe kind of survey the damage, you're going to want to have those rain jackets handy as you're going out as well, just because we are seeing some rain filter in behind it. But this is moving, again, right towards the Mount Sterling area. So we'll show you that camera here in just a second, because it's, I imagine, some pretty good clouds moving into, possibly a shelf cloud or something, moving into Mount Sterling soon with this line of storm. Cynthiana here across portions of Harrison County, dealing with a ton of lightning as well. And just before I stepped on here, I refreshed the power map, and it's already up to 185. So we're seeing that climb very, very quickly as it continues over. And of course, Dylan, if you see anything while you're over there, feel free to
no
interrupt
updates,
as well.
Just some more damage photos out of Somerset, like the one you just mentioned. We're waiting to get Oh, sorry about that, Jordan.
Oh, it's okay.
We're waiting to get some confirmation if we can use that photo before we share it. But definitely, like you said, that was a strong storm that moved through that area.
Yeah, and we can see we come down here to the southern portion of this line, and I'm assuming it's that portion of that video somewhere in Pulaski County, which, by the way, the eastern part of Pulaski County, if you're still watching, you're still dealing with that intense line of storms as it continues to move through. It is not a fun drive at all whatsoever. Straight down 75, Rockcastle County right now dealing with this intense line of storms straight down through. It's getting ready to move into the I-75 area there of Laurel County, already starting to bow out a little bit into portions of Whitley County, seeing that amount of intense winds. Also, look at the lightning strikes. We're up to 551 lightning strikes just within the southern portion of this line. It only counts the amount of lightning strikes that are seen on radar at the moment. I don't even have the northern portion of the storm in the radar. So again, we are continuing to see a ton of lightning going a little bit further off towards the north. Again, I mentioned eastern side of Madison County is dealing with this. And I know people who may just be tuning in, normally we are only wall-to-wall for tornado warnings, but because these are such intense and destructive winds, it's a holiday weekend, people may not be as alert of the weather. We want to make sure we're here to keep you guys up to date and safe as much as we can. Even here on the northern part of this, it is really bowing out because this line starts to trim back towards the west, northwest here, impacting portions of the Florence area. I know Cincinnati Reds, they have a ball game going on. It started at 12:10 p.m. Hopefully they're going to be on a delay here very shortly before those line of storms gets into the Cincinnati metro. Severe thunderstorm warning just to the west of Cincinnati, so that'll be moving in very, very quickly. Also need to watch out for some local high water issues. Thankfully that this line is moving quickly, so I don't expect a lot in the way of some flash flooding issues, but just given the amount of rain that we have seen over the last several days, especially here into southern Kentucky, would not be surprised to see some at least local high water issues, more along the lines of maybe some water, some ponding on area roadways as this line of storms continues to move through. And we noticed that, I said earlier, how much in advance the National Weather Service is giving of these warnings. Look at this line of storms. It's back here near Winchester, Mount Sterling. They have warnings as far east now as Moorhead here in Rowan County, down to portions of the Paintsville area. So kudos to the National Weather Service for really trying to get the word out, get these warnings out well ahead of the line of thunderstorms. And looking here on my watch, some of my family is texting me in Rockcastle saying that they're without power, so we're starting to see some power issues. I mean, the power issues are widespread. Pretty much the entire state, as this line moves through, is dealing with those. And even if it's not the winds that may be knocking out some power, it's the lightning. Because, I mean, technically, lightning does not go into a severe thunderstorm warning. We don't issue, or the National Weather Service does not issue severe thunderstorm warnings for lightning. But if they did, this would be a time for that, just because of the amount of lightning strikes that we are seeing. Again, it continues to increase. Just in this radar frame, which you are seeing here, 600 lightning strikes now just within the central portion of this line. Now, I mentioned the flash flood concern here in southern Kentucky. Getting a little bit of back building here with some of the moderate to heavy rain where the line has already moved through. As far west as the Lebanon, Campbellsville area, starting to see some moderate rain into this area. And by the way, portions of Monticello has picked up over 4 inches of rain since Wednesday. So again, we can't discount that flash flood risk, which, by the way, the Weather Prediction Center does have the entire risk and a slight level 2 risk for some excessive rainfall today as well. And it looks like Dylan is trying to get
that up on
that video.
Links 2, 1 second for our directors back there to show, but it should be ready here in just a moment.
Yeah, so in just a moment, Neil, back in the production booth, whenever we tell you, can you take links 2 to show this video again? Not yet. Okay. I think we are ready to show that. So Neil, if you can pull up links 2 so we can show this video of damage that would be great. Again, this damage is coming out of the Somerset area of Pulaski County.
Yep, and it's on links 2 if we could show you that. But again, this part of the storm just moved through Somerset, now moving off towards the London, Corbin area, likely causing some concerns there. We're not able to show it to you right now, but that's still something that we are tracking for you right now. I do want to maybe try to show you the Mount Sterling camera because that heavy rain should be moving in, right about now. This is kind of the example of what everyone's dealing with out there. Strong storm. You can see the rain blowing with that wind. Look at the American flag there blowing in the wind. Very strong. The winds are kicking that tree around. Let's keep on this view for just one moment, and I think I can pull up that view potentially here in just a moment. But this is a live picture for you now in Mount Sterling, where we've got heavy rain and storms. Heavy rain and storms right now. So that is Mount Sterling area at the moment. And you can see the winds, again, shaking our camera around very strong. So I'm going to stick on this, see if we can see any damage potentially happen. This is a very strong part of the storm that's moving through Montgomery County, Mount Sterling area right now. May even kick our camera offline, potentially. We hope not, but we hope if you are in Mount Sterling, you are taking your necessary precautions and putting yourself out of harm's way. That's on the northern edge. Again, that's in the Mount Sterling area. We're talking about Somerset, but just wanted to show you Mount Sterling as the line of storms moved in to your area. Jordan was talking about it. The lightning's actually ticked up a little bit, now to 800 lightning strikes being reported with this line. I'm going to take those lightning strikes off quickly, see if we can see any more rotation, because that has certainly been an issue with this. Not as much seeing that. Let's put the radar in motion now. See if we can see any of that showing up over the last 30 minutes. So again, a little bit of a notch there, maybe moving through Corbin right now. Also a little bit of one that moved through the Somerset area. That is certainly, I'm going to zoom in on both of those because we figured the southern edge of this has a little bit more energy to work with. And we were kind of talking about that earlier where if we're going to spin something up, it would like to be on the southern edge. And Corbin right now, you certainly want to be watching this closely if you are in Corbin, because this part of the storm has had a history of producing damaging wind gusts. And we can show you that now near the Somerset area as we have some video to us from X. There we go. It's Garmin on X. Gave us permission to use this. This is out of downtown Somerset. It's kind of a short video, but trees are down. Those are large trees within a community near homes, if not on these homes. So that is the scene. I'm not sure the exact community, the exact part of Somerset there with this damage, but it's certainly something that's significant wind damage. Trees on homes, looks like large, healthy trees blown over by the winds within this part of the storm. So if we can take it back to links 1 and show you as this part of the storm that's produced this damage is now moving eastward, it's now entering Laurel County, maybe far southern Laurel County as you get closer towards the Corbin area, and as it moves eastward. So again, if we could get that pulled up on our number 1 weather computer here, and we can try to show you what is happening now. But that's another look at that significant wind damage from earlier there in the Somerset area of Pulaski County. Numerous trees down, a lot of tree branches in the roadway, and likely we get an update on that. Tornado warning just issued, looks like, for that same part of the storm. So if we can get back, please, on Links 1, our Links 1 computers, we can show you that tornado warning, our first tornado warning for that same part of the cell we're talking about. There we go.
It's for Knox, Laurel, and Whitley.
Yeah, that exact same part of the storm we were just showing you moving through the Corbin area. So tornado warning issued now for Corbin. If you're in Corbin, make sure you are getting to the most interior room within your home right now, away from doors and windows. If you have a basement underneath the steps, a great place to be right now. If you have any loved ones over towards Barberville, points eastward into Knox County, and they're maybe in a mobile home, maybe in an RV, camping, make sure you offer them, if they can get to you pretty quickly, make sure they can get to you and get in a sturdy structure out of a mobile home, out of a tent, obviously, within the situation. So where we're seeing that rotation would be right near the Corbin area. So let's put up, again, of course, they're not showing a skit or any rotation, but as I set this in motion, the area that we're talking about here, that right there would be where that rotation is. It's basically right over top of downtown Corbin right now, right along the Laurel County line there as well, getting ready to move into Knox County. That would be the part of this storm that could be producing that. Any other updates from the Jackson National Weather Service office, Jordan, with that?
Just that they're kind of watching that little
notch that we were watching.
That we were talking about. That's why they went ahead and went with that tornado warning.
Yeah, so we've been talking about this part for 10, 20 minutes before the tornado warning was issued, but that part of the line, let's see if I can show you the wind shear right now, see if we're getting any reports of maybe some shear showing up on radar. It would be right over top of the Corbin area. If we were to have a quick, again, this is going to be a quick spin up. This is not a long track kind of situation, but there's definitely a possibility that this thing can produce a quick spin up tornado, and it's right on top of Corbin at the moment right now. And this tornado warning lasts through 2:15. So if you're tuned in right now, Corbin, maybe points just eastward towards the gray area, even further east than that, make sure you are getting into your safe location as the storm is continuing to move off towards the east at a pretty fast clip. Do you have the wind speed that this is traveling, Jordan?
It is, sorry, I was trying to get that posted to social as well.
Again, if there's a tornado, it's again, we're waiting for another scan from the radar to come in, but it's likely now just east of Corbin. So
it's moving slow. It's moving at 35 miles.
35 miles, so a little bit slower than some of the storms were traveling earlier. But again, just moved through downtown downtown Corbin, and it's moving off towards the east at a pretty slower clip than what we were seeing with the storms earlier. But still something we're certainly watching. Kind of right on cue, they issued that tornado warning. You notice showing up on the radar a little bit of notch. So this is likely some inflow coming in on the outside, and then you get obviously the strong push of wind as the rain and heavy rain is falling. So if we were to see any rotation, it would be right there.
And that is for like straight line winds. It also is considerable 70-mile-an-hour winds with that tornado warning as well. So not only the circulation, but straight line winds of upwards of 70 miles an hour. And some damage reports starting to come out of the Corbin area. I know it's happening right now, but Johnny Nicholson, who is someone who is always on top of things down in southern Kentucky, he's sending in at the exit 29 there in Corbin, which is the second Corbin exit, some structural damage there to some of the businesses potentially in the Corbin area.
Okay, so that's structure damage potential in Corbin with this tornado warning that is with us through 2:15. It's yet to move into Knox County yet, but it's getting ready to. It's right on the line of moving in. So if you're tuned in Knox County right now, you definitely want to be in your tornado safe shelter. Barberville, you're on the southern edge of where we could see this tornado potential. We just had a new scan come in, so let's get a look at where we could potentially be seeing that rotation. So again, it's a little bit further east of Corbin now, obviously. And we said it's moving east at a pretty fast clip. Let's see if we have a skit on this. We still don't really. Let's see this area north, see what its BTI, Barron Tornado Index, at 3.7, so not very strong there. See if this southern one has a little bit of 3.2. So neither of those showing much, but it's really this area. You said it was going around 35 miles per hour, Jordan?
Yes.
Let's try to get a storm track on this.
And there has been a severe thunderstorm watch issued for the remainder of our eastern Kentucky counties and into the Virginias.
Okay, so far eastern
Kentucky. And that runs
Kentucky
through 9 p.m. So they went ahead and extended that out, I guess, to maybe include the second round potentially moving in later but it is through 9 p.m. tonight.
So Woolham, is that 208? We don't have a lot of communities here to show you, but that just shows you kind of the path that this storm is taking, that general direction. So Barberville, you still need to be in a safe location because you're still dealing with damaging wind gusts, but if we're seeing a tornado with this, it would be right there to the north of Barberville and moving off towards the east-northeast at around 35 miles per hour. So we unfortunately don't have a lot of communities there to show you, but that is the part of the storm we're watching. Let's see if we can see. Yeah, still showing a little bit of wind shear there just to the east of Corbin. And now to the east of US 25 as well, moving due east right along that Laurel County line as well. So tornado warning through now 2:15. I have it on the severe thunderstorm. Yeah, tornado warning through 2:15 for Knox County and the Corbin area with potential damage to, well, we did get that confirmation of damage, correct, Jordan,
Yeah.
on structures in the Corbin area. What was the exit there with that?
Exit 29, which
Exit
is the
29.
second Corbin exit.
Second Corbin exit there. So keep that in mind that this has had a history of producing damage. We have that tornado warning for this part of the storm. If you're in Knox County right now, get to your safe location, especially if you're on the north side of Barberville, north of Barberville. Let's take another look in at some of these communities in the path.
Structural damage. This is the northern end of the line, so revisiting back here in central Kentucky, but in Scott County. Some roofs, some siding blown off of some, looks like maybe a horse barn here. The roof is pretty much completely gone, tossed into this farm area here. So damage reports continue to fill in here after the storms move out of central Kentucky.
Yes, and again, we're looking just east of Corbin. Unfortunately, there just aren't a lot of communities. Let me try to get off the screen here, see if I can zoom in on some better areas. Sometimes a hand tracker, a little difficult technology, right? So let me draw for you what we're talking about in terms of where this potential spin-up tornado that's had a history of producing damage is. So that is where it's currently located. Let's take that off of there real quick. The Gray area, just to the north of Gray. What is that road right there? I can't get that road, but it is moving off towards the east near the Fletcher area. Crane Nest, the Tuttle area there in the Knox County. Gibbs, Woolham, in the Knox County. This is for you. Make sure you are, again, in your safe location, away from doors, windows, exterior walls of your home. If you can possibly get to, that is where we want you to stay safe in this sort of situation with this tornado warning. And it's north and east, maybe moving a little bit further northeast, would you say as well, Jordan?
I was noticing that as well,
as opposed to north. So there's southern Laurel County. Here is Knox County. So it's right on the line if we are seeing anything with that.
Levi Jackson State Park is in that warning there in southern Laurel County. I think the rotation may be just to the south and east of you, but
I will say the north side now showing a little bit more. So we have that tornado warning out for Knox County, but I will say again, because this is a line, we're not going to see long-lived tornadoes. You're going to see quick
there's another
spin-up
tornado warning, and this is
the northern edge of it. Oh,
no, southern edge,
okay,
in
gotcha.
Whitley and Bell counties.
Whitley and Bell County. So southern edge, but we may get one here on the northern edge here as well. That's not really showing up quite as prevalent on radar. But this area just to the east of London, would not be surprised to see this issued for a tornado warning as well. That area I just circled to the east of London, just north of Hal Rogers Parkway. A little bit of rotation there. It's showing up on our wind shear, and it makes sense you're in a little bit of a notch on the radar. So eastern Laurel County, east of London, but to the north of the Hal Rogers Parkway. That's an area we're watching right now for the potential. We don't have a tornado warning issued yet, but if you're in the Maplesville area, Deer Lick, Portersburg, Crawford areas, you definitely want to make sure you're in your safe location. We're getting closer to
Dylan,
Clayton.
we have a from the Laurel County 911 Center, they are apparently getting calls of a possible tornado that is maybe touched down on the Old Way Road and Lick Fort Road, which I'm looking here at the map, and that is that northern extent of the warning, where currently there is no warning. So
Yes.
we may see something come out very soon for that.
Yes.
That is in the National Weather Service chat.
Yeah, there's certainly some rotation right near the Maplesville area. Again, they're getting some reports. Old Way Road, Lick Fork Road in Laurel County is the area we're talking about here. So that's east of London. Don't have a tornado warning yet, but that's the part of this line that's showing the most rotation to me right now as well. You can also see, so again, green means that these winds are heading towards the radar site in Jackson. And you notice how we're seeing brighter greens there to the south and east of London. So you're really getting a strong gust of wind with the heavier part of that rain. And then you're getting some inflow within this as well that's potentially producing what could be a quick spin-up tornado there. We are getting some reports, nothing confirmed yet. We don't have a tornado warning yet, but some confirmed, some reports out of the London area where we could be seeing a tornado. So
and that is near, I know it's Sunday and school's out for the year, but that is near, right on top of South Laurel High School.
Yes.
So if folks who may live near South Laurel High School, the kind of reports of some rotation possibly being seen is near South Laurel High School and Levi Jackson State Park.
So South Laurel High School, Levi Jackson State Park. It's likely to the east of that right now. But so no update. Again, we have the tornado warning that's still out for this southern edge, but right now the most rotation is here just to the east of London. Maplesville area is very strong. So there's Old Way Road that we're talking about right there. Let's try to, I'm gonna put a track on this. Try to get it. The other one was moving around 35 miles per hour, so let's put it a similar type of that type of track. So the Sidell area, 216. This is a little bit further east, but Burning Springs, 219. Strong part of the storm warning moving towards you. Obviously nobody at Clay County High School right now, but if you live near that area in the Manchester, you've got until 221 until this part of the storm moves in near you. And again, we're not obviously seeing any debris as we won't expect, but because this is again quick spin up tornado, it's not your typical supercell type of situation, but still something that we are watching. Again, still no warning for this either. We still have the warning for the southern part of this. No update yet. Latest scan doesn't look quite as impressive, so that's some good news. So it just goes with what we're saying. Anywhere on the southern edge of this line, because it's kind of bowed out there towards Barberville in the Knox County, the winds just take interesting turns because of the environment out ahead of it is so favorable for these storms to strengthen. We've yet to see any rain south and east of this, and obviously that's where you're getting that inflow within these storms. So there is a favorable environment for them to the south and the east, and some of these notches just quickly could produce some rotation, which may have, with some wind damage reports near the London area, near South Laurel High School, in terms of what may have been wind damage. There were reports of a possible funnel cloud, no confirmation yet, but that would be just to the north of Howell Rogers Parkway. Still have this tornado warning that's out through 2:15, so again, another 15 minutes on that. We're right at 2 o'clock right now, so that warning continues. Any update on that? We also have the warning to the south. It's just outside of a lot of our viewing area, but that is for Bell County through 2:15.
And eastern Whitley County.
And eastern Whitley County, south and east of Williamsburg.
Just east of 75.
Just east of 75. And radar, let me go to the Morristown radar for this one, see if we can get a better view of this storm. Now to the south and east, yes, we would have a better view. And there is some rotation there, getting ready to move into, where it is. It's now east of Whitley County into Bell County. Let's see, east of I-75. That's part of the storm is what could be potentially producing a tornado. Let's show you the wind shear. Yeah, a lot of wind shear with that. Again, same deal to what we're talking about, heading towards the Middlesboro area. So Bell County, Middlesboro area towards the Cumberland Gap. I know we may not have a ton of people tuned in from that area, but this is a strong rotating storm heading in your direction at around 30 to 40 miles per hour. Tornado warning issued for you through 2:15. You're seeing the rotation detector. I mentioned if you see almost an S shape with that, that shows that there is that rotation occurring just right there. There's Middlesboro and Bell County. You're heading right down the valley, basically, towards you is where the strongest part of this storm would be. Again, it's not well-defined rotation, but there's still some rotation there. Any update out of Laurel County?
Not out of Laurel County, just here in central Kentucky. And now that the storms continue to pass, again, the reports of damage is a little bit more than I can even keep up with at the moment, just because there is so much. And unfortunately, some sad news out of Louisville. Mayor out of Louisville there, Mayor
Greg
said
Greenberg.
that Greg Greenberg, said that there has been one fatality from the storms that moved through the
And
Louisville
that was
metro.
likely wind damage. So wind is a cause for that. Again, we're at this is, again, Bell County, south of Pineville, heading towards Middlesboro. But if you're tuned in there, you know anyone near Middlesboro, they need to be taking shelter right now in an area away from doors and windows, most interior room within your home. There is a storm capable of producing a tornado, and if not, very strong winds just to the west, heading right down West Cumberland Avenue as well, right down the valley, heading towards Middlesboro. Still no update out of Laurel County. Not seeing as much rotation there, so that's some good news. We did mention it earlier. There were some reports out of that area. Right now, the rotation's not as strong there east of London, but it's getting ready to move into Clay County.
And also a little bit north of these tornado warnings here, heading into the Frenchburg area. Look at that bow that is starting to really move out in front of that line. That could be seeing a little bit uptick of some damaging winds there for Menifee County there in Frenchburg.
Yes, so we have not really talked much about this part of the storm, but Menifee County over towards Morgan County, you still have a severe thunderstorm warning, 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts possible for you. Frenchburg area eastward. Frenchburg, you're definitely dealing with the worst of it right now. The strongest of the wind gust potential is moving into your immediate area right now. We still have those two tornado warnings on the southern edge of this. They're set to expire at 2:30. Still no update out of.
No, but that one in northern Knox County, that rotation's starting to strengthen up just a tad.
Okay.
So we'll need to keep
Northern
an eye
Knox
on
County,
that.
they shrunk the warning down just a little bit. Let's see. Let's get another view. Were you looking at Jackson's radar? Not really sure.
Yeah. No, that was Morristown's
Morristown.
radar.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, there is. So that's far northern Knox. That would be moving into southern now Clay County, south of Manchester. So let's zoom in here where we could potentially be seeing a little rotation. Clay County moving out of Knox County. You have that tornado warning through 2:15, but the part of the storm we're watching is getting ready to exit that warning.
Yes.
And then obviously this one down here towards the Middlesboro area, we're continuing to monitor as well. The rotation not as strong. Let me check. No, it is still strong. Middlesboro, you need to be in your safe location now. That tornado warning is out for you through 2:15 for Bell County. So if you're tuned in Bell County, you know anyone near the Middlesboro area in Bell County, not everyone there gets us on television, but some people do. And if you know anyone there, make sure they are getting to their storm safety shelter area now. Bell County, tornado warning out for you through 2:15.
And continue to watch that rotation northeast of Barberville. They're getting ready to push into southern Clay County. Interesting, while we have no update out of the National Weather Service whether they're going to extend that or not, because that's still, it's broad, but still some circulation just to the south of Manchester. So portions of southern Clay County, go ahead and do us a favor and get in your storm shelter just to be on the safe side.
We finally have a skit for that area, and we just had, so they're issuing a severe thunderstorm warning with that through 3 o'clock, but there certainly could be the potential for some rotating winds. So it's moving east-northeast at 43 miles per hour. The Spring Creek area, Markham, Creekville, 224 for you. Same with Garden. War Branch area at 231, Moselle 234, and Stinnett at 235. So that's the area rotation. There's Manchester, southern Clay County, moving off towards the east-northeast around 40, 45 miles per hour. And it's traveling at a pretty good space. So the hail, notice the hail percentage, that's low. The BTI, which is the tornado index, is at 2.3, so that's also low. But there's just enough shear there that we're continuing to monitor this. It's had a history of producing wind shear, obviously with that tornado warning that's out through 215. But now it's starting to be pretty impressive in terms of maybe quick spin-up potential with that.
And that circulation is really outside of the tornado polygon there into Knox County. So still no word from the National Weather Service on what they're going to do with that. But we are still seeing some circulation now just to the east of that warning. Technically, that tornado warning expires in 8 minutes at 2:15. Again, we'll see what the National Weather Service decides to do with that, though.
So there is the tornado warning currently out for Bell County. Getting ready to Middlesboro, it's strengthening a little bit as it moves towards you. So tornado warning out through 2:15. Make sure you're in your storm safety shelter. The part of the storm that could be producing that tornado is just to the west of the Middlesboro area. So if you're tuned in right now, you have anyone that you know that lives near Middlesboro there in the southern Bell County, right along right near the Cumberland Gap. The storm is strengthening. It's heading through some difficult terrain, so that may impact the storm a little bit as well on top of that. But that is a part of the storm that we are watching near the Middlesboro area. Still no updates from National Weather Service, though. This is technically Jackson's area, correct?
Yes, it is.
And we're looking at Morristown's radar because Jackson's radar is pretty far away from this. Morristown's actually closer to where this part of the storm is, so you get a bit of a better view of what we're dealing with this storm. Tornado warning through 2:15, so another about 5 minutes left on this. So we've got this storm right now. I'm gonna take off that warning. So again, if you're near the Middlesboro area, yeah, it's still pretty strong.
It is. That's what I'm looking at right now.
And it's moving into downtown Middlesboro right now. Just moved into town on the west side. Lot of rotation within this. Could be a tornado on the ground right now, moving into Middlesboro in Bell County. You have a tornado warning out through 2:15. Very strong wind shear, very strong rotation just to the west side of town, and that's moving off towards the east-northeast. So really, as we're talking to you right now, this is moving in real time. We can't show you that because the radar scans come in every couple minutes, but this is moving off towards the east, 40 miles per hour. Could be producing a tornado right now over top of Middlesboro. And let's see, let's just put on debris. Doubt we'll see anything showing up. Yeah, we're not seeing any debris, so that's good news. But there's a strong rotation signature moving into Middlesboro right now, Bell County. And the tornado warning is out through 2:15. So 5 minutes left on this. Still nothing from the National Weather Service. I'm heading off the screen. They've yet to give any updates. More in terms of the severe thunderstorm warnings on the north side of this, but
Still some broad rotation though into southeastern Clay County. Still worth watching.
Yeah. So let's go back to Jackson's radar. Southeast Clay County, south of Manchester, south of 421, near the Ogle area, Bright Shade area. You've got the Mudlick Road, part of Clay County. You could be seeing, again, quick spin up. Yeah, there's a little bit of rotation there. Not a ton, not as much as the storm moving through Middlesboro right now, but still some rotation possible with that. Let's see. Jackson's radar just does not have a good view of that. Let's see if we set this in motion, if we've got anything from this. Yeah, I'm just trying to see if there's any hint of any debris showing up. I wouldn't say that. Do you have a better view on your phone, maybe?
No, it
still looks about the same. Yeah, okay. But that is, again, tornado warning for Middlesboro in Bell County. I know it's not technically our viewing area, but there's the potential for a tornado right on top of town right now for Middlesboro in Bell County, south and east of Pineville. It's still an area where we are watching. We want to let you know that we've got you covered. If you are tuned in, or you know anyone or have any loved ones there, make sure they are in a tornado-safe shelter. We've been on for a while focusing on these storms. I just want to quickly show you the view of our whole viewing area. You're in the clear right now for Lexington over to Nicholasville, Frankfort, but there are more storms trying to fire up just to your west. You still have some rain falling in Somerset. It is from this line eastward that we are watching for that damaging wind gust potential, wind gusts in excess of 50, 60, maybe even pushing 70 miles per hour. So let's see this tornado warning that's out for Breathitt County. This box right there that does include Jackson, that is through 2:30. The tornado warning for Moorhead, that is through 3 o'clock. Far eastern Kentucky, Carter County eastward, that's through 3:15. And then there into our far southern counties, Leslie County, over into Perry County, your severe thunderstorm warning is also out through 3 o'clock. Take these off of there, clean this look up a little bit, and show you how much lightning we still have within these storms. Over 600 lightning strikes just within this line. And this little area, even with all the strong storms that just moved through, this still has a lot of lightning with it as well, even though it's a little bit, the atmosphere is a little bit more stable. Any updates?
Just back further west, several trees and power lines down near the Lake Cumberland area across western Pulaski County.
Yeah, that's not surprising, unfortunately. Let's take a look at that Lake Cumberland camera.
No updates with our current tornado warnings, though.
Yeah, if there is a tornado of Bell County, it's moving. The part of that storm is moving through Middlesboro. I want to take a look at the Lake Cumberland camera that we have just to see if it may be frozen. I wanted to see if there was any damage. You can't really tell right now. It's still raining a little bit as well. So not a great view there. I just wanted to see if we could see any wind damage since we had that look available to us. So we have this tornado warning out for Bell County through 2:15. It is the part of the storm is right on top of Middlesboro right now. And that is what we've been tracking here for the last 30 minutes or so. Try to get on that magnifying glass there. Zoom on in if we can. And of course, I was just on it and unclicked it. There we go. Zoom in towards the Middlesboro area. It has weakened a little bit, so that's some good news, but likely produce some damage, at least, in Middlesboro itself for that tornado warning.
Yes, which is just south of Pineville,
yes,
there into Bell County.
Pineville to the north, Middlesboro there. That is the part of the storm that has a tornado warning that could be producing that tornado threat. In the northern edge, that tornado warning still hasn't expired, even though it is 2:15. But the part of that storm that could be, or that would have created that spin-up tornado threat is now all in portions of Clay County.
We just had a big jump in power outages. We're now up to just over 214,000. That is statewide. So that includes the Western Kentucky storms here in central southern Kentucky, but 214,000.
Yep, that's, again, here's our look at that power outage map, and we could show you the totals on each of our area counties. Again, this is customers. Pulaski County definitely with the most, with 6,500 out for you. Fayette County 2,000, so that's a good number. We could, I mean, look at Louisville Metro, where we have had a death reported from the strong winds that moved through Jefferson County, but they have a lot more power outages than we have here in Fayette County, so that's a piece of good news. But Pulaski County, we had some wind damage. We showed you that video of significant wind damage, trees on the homes in the Somerset, so that makes sense why that number is so high compared to everyone else.
And they just extended that, again, just pretty much south of our viewing area, but southern Harlan County is now in that tornado warning until 2:45. So just a sliver of southern Laurel and the remainder of southern Bell County's been extended till 2:45.
Yeah, and that's the part of the storm that we were showing that moved just through the Middlesboro area. Let's see, though, this line, if it's got anything. Let's see here. Yeah, we're not seeing quite as much rotation as we were with this part of the storm that moved through Laurel County. There were some reports of potential rotation there in Laurel County. We're not seeing it quite as tight on showing up on radar, but multiple areas actually showing up with the potential for quick spin up there east of Manchester into Clay County, getting ready to move into Leslie County.
Which is a lot of times what you get with these QCLS lines is these just little can produce quick spin up of tornadoes. As Dylan has mentioned several times, these are not the long track tornadoes that you would be tracking in a supercell, but some that could really pop up with little warning. So if you do get underneath a warning, make sure you take it seriously and take shelter.
Yeah, a lot of people probably camping outdoors in the mountains there, southeastern Kentucky, Hazard area, Perry County. You've got a severe thunderstorm warning out for you. The main threat, 50 to 60 mile per hour wind gusts with this line as it moves eastward. But as Jordan was just talking about, as we've been pointing out through this entire period, is that there is the possibility of some instances of quick rotation that could produce a quick spin up tornado. If you remember back to April 2nd with the tornadoes that moved through our area on that day, we didn't have supercell tornadoes that day. It was a line just like this, shaped a little differently, but it was a line just like this, that as it was moving towards the east, produced just on the leading edge some couplets of rotation that produced some very quick spin-up tornadoes, like the tornado that hit in Nicholasville there in Jessamine County from that. So still worth watching. I know it just looks like a line of storms right now, but as we turn on the velocity, little couplets trying to show up there just to the east of Manchester, right along the Leslie County line, following right along the path of the Hal Rogers Parkway. That is, those are the areas we're watching within that main lane line.
There's some decent rotation showing up with that little notch into eastern Lee County, Dylan. Let's take a look at that. Getting ready to move into Jackson
absolutely,
County.
Yes. Good call there, Jordan. This is what Jordan's talking about to the east of Beattyville. Let's zoom in here. This is a severe thunderstorm warning for eastern Lee County, but Jordan just pointed this out. That's a lot of rotation for sure that is showing up there. Let me even get a little bit tighter. Let's turn on velocity. Yeah, right there, a little bit of a notch. So again, the greens are heading towards the radar, which is actually pretty close to this storm. Greens pointing towards, you're getting that little bit of a notch with that inflow right there that you could potentially produce something with this.
And I know we're getting a little busy now, but there's also some rotation just to the east of Cave Run Lake Fork area there of Rowan County.
Okay.
So just south of Moorhead, that little notch is showing some signs of rotation as well.
Let's head towards that area. Let's look at eastern Kentucky. Moorhead, you said?
Yes,
zoom
just south
in.
of Moorhead.
Just south of Moorhead. Rowan County, where you could, that's not a great view. It's pretty far away, so let me switch up our view here. Let's go to Jackson. Let's go to storm relative velocity. Still not showing up quite as much.
Just south of Lake Fork.
Yes, there we go.
And right on the Paragon area there of southern Rowan County.
Yeah, there's Cave Run Lake, far southern Rowan County, Paragon area. there. Right there would be where we see some rotation. And again, this is another area a lot of people likely, trying to enjoy this holiday weekend. They're trying to be out and about in the unofficial kickoff of summer. So a lot of people may be near Cave Run Lake. So this is what makes this type of situation so dangerous, because there's not, the best of cell service in this area. And we have the potential for some rotating winds potentially with this storm as it's moving through an area where it may have more people than normal and there's not great cell phone service. So if you know anyone in this area, or you're tuned in right now on your TV, good news about being on television is no matter the cell service, you can still get our signal from our tower. You can still see us via that antenna. So the Paragon area, east of Cave Run Lake, far southern portions of Rowan County, there is some rotation showing up there for you. And again, this is pretty far away from the radar to see a great view of it, but the heavy rain, regardless of if we've got rotation with that or not. There's West Liberty to put into perspective. So basically right between West Liberty and Moorhead, there's Cave Run Lake. That rotation's right there. And as we show that wind shear, it's now moved a little bit to the east, so that's showing that it is moving very quickly. The Craney area, just at the far, just to the east of Cave Run Lake, you've got some rotation heading towards you. No tornado warning yet, but some rotation regardless.
The chat, National Weather Service in Jackson, said that they're watching that rotation there into eastern Lee County, said that if it tightens up any more whatsoever, that they are going to warn it right now. It's just a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag, but they are watching that rotation that we've been watching the last few minutes as well.
Yes, that is near Chapman Road in far eastern Lee County, moving towards Breathitt County, getting ready to cross into Breathitt County. So there's the county line just to the east of Fillmore. This is the area of rotation that we're talking about, moving east at a pretty fast clip. So it puts it in the direction just to the north of Jackson, right along Kentucky Route 15. And this is something that might look really, really good for one radar scan, but a couple minutes later when the next scan comes in, it doesn't look quite as impressive.
Getting reports of trees that are completely blocking US 25 in Barberville. So that's where that tornado warning was. Not saying it's tornado damage, it might just be straight line wind damage, but seeing some reports of damage over the Barberville area. US 25 is completely blocked at the moment.
So what I'm showing you right now, let's take these warnings off because we don't have any actual tornado warnings for our immediate area yet. Yes, there is one for Harlan County, but the part of these storms that we're talking about may not look impressive. You're looking at this radar right here, and it just looks like a line of storms, right? But there are notches just to the east, far eastern Lee County. Right there's the one we're watching. The one to the north and the west of West Liberty, far southern Rowan County. We're watching that notch. And there are a couple more actually embedded within this whole line. It's right to the point we continue to talk about. Could produce a quick tornado that's not going to be issued a tornado warning because it just occurs for a minute or two. And it may even show up when the radar doesn't see it. The radar is not continuously scanning these areas. It has to, do its full rotation. So we may miss some of these, but that's a pretty good signature there that's showing up there, Beattyville, east of Beattyville. Let's see if we get any roads in here. So Rocklick Road in Breathitt County, War Creek Road, Cedar Bend Road, Mount Carmel Road, the Lawson area of Breathitt County. This is very rough terrain over in this part, but that's kind of the area we're watching for this potential. So if you're in those locations, you're in a severe thunderstorm warning right now, but it's probably best if you just treat this as a tornado warning, get to the most interior room within your home. Right now, we still do have that tornado warning out for far Harlan County through 245. Not as much showing there, and this is taking forever to get our next scan in. The radar is literally, we are 20 miles away from the radar, actually less than that, 15 miles away from the radar. The height of the beam is 600 feet. So you're getting a great view of, if we were to spin something up quickly, it would be right there. So severe thunderstorm warning out for Breathitt County, but there is a potential for some rotating winds. Far eastern Lee County, it's likely to the east. It's likely in Breathitt County now as we wait the latest scan of the radar. And we don't have an update yet from the National Weather Service there. We just had an update from the scan, and that is showing that is now again, it's a little bit further south than where it was, where you're trying to see it pulse up a little bit there to the west of Jackson. If you are in Jackson right now, Breathitt County area, make sure you are in the lowest level of your home. If you don't have a basement, get to the most interior room within your home, turn the TV up. We'll walk you through this. It's not a tornado warning, but treat it as such because we do have that potential for a quick spin up. And these have been producing wind damage reports like a tornado. You're getting trees down, potentially on the homes in some areas. We had that in the Somerset with a very similar type of situation that we're dealing with here. There's just enough shear that we are tracking with this, and where we could there, and again there, maybe right there, just a ton of little sections of this. The severe thunderstorm warning, though, for Breathitt County, that it lasts until, let's see, 3:15. So you still have a good 30 minutes left on that. No updates.
No updates on the warnings, just again, where these storms have passed. Still seeing just damage reports that are trickling in very quickly across the entire viewing area. Areas that the line has already passed, really seeing damage continuing to come out here into central Kentucky, down in southern Kentucky, Pulaski County, with a lot of reports, getting reports again now into Barbersville. So regardless, if you see an actual quote-unquote tornado with these storms, the wind that these storms are producing is causing some, potentially tornado-like damage. So it's important to make sure, if you're camping, if you're somewhere that may not be a sturdy structure, get to somewhere as quickly as possible when these storms roll through, even if it's just a severe thunderstorm warning.
Let's stop this radar. These are examples of where we could be seeing some rotation within these storms on top of it as well. So east traveling 40 miles an hour, 47 miles per hour with this. So let's mark out this whole line here. West of Jackson to the east. Let's go 50, be on the safe end of things. So here, look at some of those communities, this leading edge that we're watching that could be producing tornado-like damage and strong wind gusts with a potential for a quick spin-up tornado. So some of those communities include the Dry Hill area at 235, Jackson 236, the Lost Creek area there for you at 240, the Busy area at 241, Van Cleve at 233, Canoe area there at 232. Any updates?
No updates as of yet. If you're looking at the radar, you may be noticing another line that is developing just east of I-65. That is not severe. I think, Dylan, you would agree. I don't necessarily think it'll turn severe quickly just because the atmosphere is so worked over from our current line, but still some heavy rain and still a lot of thunder and lightning within this next line, gearing up back just east of the I-65 corridor there.
Yeah, and even a little bit further east from I-65 too, towards Mercer County, Danville. You're going to see this line moving through here shortly for you. So I know we do have hockey coming up soon here on ABC 36. So if we don't get any new warnings here soon, we may take you back to regularly scheduled programming to get that in, because we do not have any tornado warnings out right now, which is some good news. But we have storms that are capable of producing tornadoes out all over the place throughout this entire line that is moving through the mountains. And you know, the mountains, the difficult terrain in the mountains certainly does not help things out, because the wind behaves in a weird way when it draws through those mountains and valleys into eastern Kentucky. It does not take your typical, motion of the wind, and it may create instances where you see rotation. So we have this severe thunderstorm warning out that goes all the way to Pike County. This severe thunderstorm warning does through 3:15. So through the hour, head into the next hour here. We're gonna send you back to your normally scheduled programming. If we get any tornado warnings along this entire line, we will be sure to break in and let you know. Meteorologist Jordan Smith will have updates on our Facebook. We'll continue to update our Facebook page with more information on this line of storms as it continues to move on through. And I want you to know, too, that we are not done for the day. We still have another round of storms moving in later this afternoon for some of our far western counties. Maybe not the level of severity that this line is, but there's more on the way tonight with more widespread showers and thunderstorms moving through. So make sure you stay with the ABC 36 Storm Team throughout the entire night and into your Memorial Day for more updates. We'll be back throughout the rest of the afternoon with more updates. If you're in the Lake Cumberland region, I know you have to get through another round of storms pushing on in, but the good news is that first round really helped us out. I want to show you some wind damage that we've had reported to us. If we can get that, it's not showing up for me right now, but we have had some wind gust damage reports across the region as well, and that has definitely been impacting most of us here across the region. Isolated wind damage for all of the region. So let's take a look here at our photos that we had submitted in. This is from Scott County, the Victoria States area. This was sent to Jordan. Thank you to Michael for sending in this photo. But yeah, roof blown off of a barn, and there is the roof, the metal roof there on top of a fence line. So that is the kind of stuff that we're dealing with. Numerous reports like that just from that line of damaging wind gusts that did push on through. But as I mentioned, as Jordan mentioned, we do have a hockey game coming up here at 3 o'clock on ABC 36. We will provide updates on Facebook as this initial line of severe storms pushes out of the area. We'll likely see more wind damage reports with that as it moves into likely unstable air over into West Virginia, where it may re-strengthen a little bit. And then we're going to keep our eyes on this line. If we get any warnings produced from that, then things settle down for a little bit, but late into your evening and eventually into the overnight hours will be 1 or 2 rounds of additional strong to severe thunderstorms that will push through the region and eventually give us that chance of some stronger storms. So around a minute left here before we send you over to the hockey game, so let's just quickly try to show you some of these stronger storms into eastern Kentucky. There's the Grayson area. You've got some heavy rain falling for you. Taking a little bit of a trip further south, some heavy rain and stronger storms getting ready to move into the Salyersville area and Paintsville. Heavy rain likely with that. And then there's the Jackson radar. Likely some strong storms moving through that area right now. I want to quickly see if we're still seeing any rotation with these storms, because we were earlier. Yeah, a little bit there. Southeast Breathitt County still dealing with the potential for quick spin up and quick rotation that we will obviously keep you updated on as you head through the rest of the afternoon. So Jordan will have updates on our Facebook. I'll provide some updates on there, obviously on our social media as well. So make sure you are staying with the ABC 36 Storm Team for continued updates as you head through the remainder of your Sunday.